I hope all you guys know that whoever watches this channel, I love dearly. I appreciate you guys dearly. Just because you watch me yap and talk about my nonsense and like my opinions and views, I've always appreciative of that, right? And I've always said on this channel that I am always a person that I like people. I don't like to censor anybody, right? I don't like to stop people's opinions, right? Because we're all human beings, right? Everybody is allowed to have their own opinion, and also too, that's what would make the world boring if we all like stop listening to other people's opinions and disrespecting it and etc. I think that's like one of the problems in the world now, is like where everybody's like too sensitive to people's opinions, perspectives, and etc. Just because it doesn't fit the others ideologies, or like how they see life, right? I don't know how we got, I mean, I know how we got here, but like, it's actually kind of ridiculous, and I feel like I'm seeing a pushback on that type of thing, and like that's cool, you know what I'm saying? Because again, who wants to live in a world that's gray, right? But with that being said, right, I love debates, right? Like I have I always say this, I have an entrepreneurship background, right? And like a part of that is like obviously knowing how to negotiate, all that type of stuff, right? But then as I was doing video production, I got into like the arts of persuasion and debates and etc. Right? So I always love a good debate. I'm always even before the entrepreneurship, I've always been like that, right? I always have debates with my family all the time, and that I'm just someone who likes to have the food for thought conversations. I'm always like that, right? This is why I'm bringing up this video, right? Again, I love my subscriber, right? And I actually asked him if I can do this video on my post, right? But I had a comment the other day on a post that I posted in my YouTube channel, like on the post sections, right? And I had a caption that talked about integrating your shadow, right? And then I had a picture of me smoking a cigar on a sunny day in a house, just like thinking about life, enjoying some whiskey. The whiskey wasn't on there, but I remember that particular day, like I was actually chilling with my dad, and he got me some good whiskey. I had a cigar, and I was literally out there for like 2 hours, just enjoying myself. I was listening to music. I had my son with me. He was enjoying his time, and then I was just, again, just smoking my cigar, enjoying my whiskey again for about like 2 hours, just enjoying myself. Like my son wasn't even with me; he was with the family, and I was just out there like by myself, just thinking about life, just enjoying my time, letting the sun hit me, right? And this is kind of like what I always say to you guys, like always know how to enjoy your time, because I enjoyed myself that day, right? I really did. I want to have more days like that, right? So then I posted that because I've also like been doing a lot of shadow work, and I feel like that is very important for everybody to know, like the concept on like what it's like to do that, and like what happens when you start to integrate the shadow. Again, that's like a whole other a video, and I have a video on that, right? But then I posted that, and I got this comment from this subscriber, right? Now, for some background, I believe that he has been, I'm going to put the comment up on screen somewhere along this video, right? But I just want to say that like this person has been a subscriber, I think, since the channel has opened up, right? So again, I love you, right? And I'm also of a person where I love getting feedback from everybody, right? I like having debates and getting criticized and stuff like that, right? But I will never take that stuff serious if it's from somebody who's never actually watched the channel, has never really put the effort in to understand like why I do what I do or anything like that, right? So like if on my first video, for example, I had like a bunch of people like comments about like what I should do and just like saying like a bunch of nonsense that made no sense, right? That's obviously feedback and criticism that I actually had somebody actually say that like they didn't like the way how I communicated, because like I do a lot of and like I'll jump from thought to thought and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, this is also like me like going off script. Like I don't have a script, right? So this is me going off the cuff, like off my head, right? So I was like, so you don't like it, that's fine, but other people do, right? But that person like is not a subscriber, and that was like his first video, right? I'm not gonna take his I mean that one, I'm like, okay, like I'll think about it, but like I'm not gonna take you as serious, right? Versus like a subscriber, I will take that criticism and those opinions more seriously, because I feel like we have a little bit of more of a relationship. You've watched my videos, you know me a little bit more than somebody who's just coming on out of nowhere. It's kind of like if you have like a couple of friends, close friends, and they tell you something, you'll take that more, versus like somebody who like somebody who you don't know at all, and they don't know your background or anything like that, so you'll kind of like dismiss that perspective, right? So that's kind of how I see it here, right? So again, I posted my cigar picture, and then I got a comment from the subscriber, right? And again, I'm gonna put it on screen somewhere here, but like just in the essence of it, the comment was basically like not liking that like I was smoking a cigar, right? Like at all. It seemed like he had a very strong opinion about it, right? And I just want to like highlight some of what the comment said, right? So I'm gonna start with this is what he said. He said, "Quit smoking; it destroys health. And remember, health is wealth. If you are stressed or taking it as a way to escape mental pressure, it's better for you to talk to your kids or someone like a close friend," right? So that was a part of the comment. You guys can like scroll back if you want to see the rest of the comment, right? And then obviously like I responded and I was like, "Hey, look, dude, like it's a cigar, it's whiskey. I like doing it for fun. Like none of the reasons you listed is the reason like why I'm doing this, right?" So then he responds again, and then he was like, "This is a huge L. It doesn't matter how much whiskey or chilling it is, blah 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 blah," right? And then he said here, he said, "When you're healthy, your kids will be the happiest. If you saw them even smiling once, remember that face," right? So it's funny because I was like, in this whole interaction, I was like, "Yo, this is giving me a video idea." So I actually asked him, I said, "Can I use this interaction like as a video idea?" And then he said yes, and then he was like, "Oh, try to prove me wrong," or something like that. And he's watching this. He is watching this, and it's gonna be funny because what I'm gonna like the topic of this video is gonna have actually nothing to do with the cigar like at all, right? So as you guys like notice, like when I'm reading this out, right, I'm picking out particular parts, right? So like you see a picture of me smoking a cigar. You see a picture of me smoking a cigar, enjoying some whiskey, and I have like a good caption with it, like for people to like look at, right? And then you automatically this is the problem I have with this comment, right? Again, I love the subscriber, I love you, man, I do, right? But I think this is like a conversation like in a broader topic of like assumptions and trying to push what you think onto somebody else, right? Because as I opened up this video, I said that the reason why I was doing it was literally for fun and me just chilling on an off day, chilling with my dad, just literally enjoying life and listening to like my metal music, because that's what I do, right? Wasn't stress, wasn't anything like that. If anything, I went over to go chill with them because again, me and my dad and his friends, we like to smoke cigars and like just like shoot the shits, right? We'll talk about a bunch of things and like random things and like blah blah blah, right? That's you would see a lot of older gentlemen doing that, right? And you would see a lot of classy guys doing that. Now I'm not saying like we're like classy dudes or anything like that, but that's just something we like to do, right? Even my uncle likes to smoke cigars and like just shoot the shits and like talk to the friends or whatever, right? That's just something that we do for fun. We enjoy doing that. It's not something that is done like on a daily, right? Even if it was on a daily, wouldn't matter, but this is not something that's on a daily, right? So that's where that comes from. And funny enough, again, like I had my son with me to hang out with the guys as well, and he was like in the back somewhere like chilling with a couple of family members while I took my time to myself, right? So my biggest thing with this was again, like if you're stressed or taking it as a way to escape mental pressure, it's better to talk to your kids or someone like a close friend. Now this is where this comes in, right, with the topic of like assumptions, right? I think the biggest thing in life that we have to learn, and this is like a big thing on social media as well too. This is why I got off of social media, but this is like why social media is destroying people. But this is why like also too like people will get impressions from certain people if they just like let you know a little bit about their life. Like you'll have an assumption, right? So again, like you're on social media and you may see like this 20-year-old who's like on a yacht, this or that, blah blah blah, and they're actually like maybe broke, right? They actually rented all that stuff out to sell you something, right? And now you're thinking like, oh look, I should be there, or this person's way more successful than me, and like you're feeling a type of way about yourself, or like maybe you're angry because you feel like you should be there, right? Even like if you are looking at like maybe like the perfect relationship on the outside, right? Like you might think that the couple never fights and they never show you any fighting or anything like that, but behind closed doors, like they're fucking raging at each other, but like on social media they look like the perfect couple, right? There's a lot of assumptions that people pass out, but there's a lot of assumptions that people are made just from just a piece of media. Again, this is like why I'm off of social media, right? And I think as human beings, like we're very judgmental. We are, right? We're very judgmental, and I believe it is a evolutionary trait to why we're like that, right? To like be a part of the tribe and fit in and stuff like that. And then like somebody who's like kind of like out there, you kind of like distance yourself from them because like they're not like everybody else, all that type of stuff. Again, it's in our DNA, it goes way back, right? But I think like assumptions in the modern day, like it should always be minimized, right? Because you never know what's actually happening on the flip side of the screen, or when you really don't know a person outright, right? So again, like I again, I love everybody's opinions and stuff like that, and like debates and like whatever. Again, like this is what this channel is for. If you think that do what you want to do, right? But what I don't like necessarily in people is when they assume something about a situation when they have no clue about what's going on, right? So like I will reiterate again, if you're stressed or taking it as a way to escape mental pressure, it's better to talk to your kids or someone close like a friend. I was literally chilling with my father and his friends, and my son was with me, and I was enjoying my fucking day. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, and again, like this, I would assume this comes from a place of care and love, because it is. Smoking is nothing you smoke is good, right? Nothing you smoke is good. So like I do appreciate that you care about my health. You're a real one, right? I totally get that, right? But I think like the layered on assumptions on like what my dynamic was in the photo, and like what that stuff is, or like why I do it, is like completely wrong, and I don't think it's something that should be done, because realistically speaking, like we don't know each other from a hole in the wall, like completely at all. And you know it could it could be offensive to somebody. Now, I'm not saying I got offended, right? But it could be, somebody could take that to offense if you're telling them like what to do with their kids, or like, talking to a friend, or like blah, 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 right? Like, now, once again, it's not something that offended me. It was just more of like again, it's an assumption. And like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, like the first thought I was like, this person has no clue what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it is. Because it's supposed to be like a fun post, right? So, but that, doing stuff like that, and telling people and making comments to people when you don't know them could piss somebody off. You know what I'm saying? It really can, right? And so assumptions and assuming things just when you see them is not good. I don't think that's a good trait. I think we should minimize it. Don't get me wrong, like I'm an overthinker. I always try to predict and assume things when I see them, right? And I noticed that like that locks me in a box. So like I try to like minimize that as much as possible up until like I get, unless I see a pattern, or like I see like complete evidence of the thing I thought, right? But I never try to assume anymore. You know what I'm saying? Especially about like other people, because I don't know what the fuck people got going on. We're all living this life all at the same time. I cannot assume something on somebody else if they're doing one thing or another. So that's one. The other thing is that I think that like where a lot of us goes wrong is that like we I don't want to say we don't respect what other people do, right? Because that's not what that is. But it's more of like pushing what you feel should be the right thing onto somebody else, right? And it's kind of like, that's like kind of like what people do in religion, for example, right? Like if you are of a one type of religion and somebody else is another type of religion, right, you're probably going to try to push your ideologies onto the other ones to show them like why your viewpoint is right, and they're probably going to do the same thing as well too. Maybe if you are religious and somebody it doesn't believe in God or anything at all, like you probably will take your time out to try to push what you think onto them and try to convert them, and that actually like makes people uncomfortable, or like makes people like not even want to look at your point at all if it's just like, hey, look, like I'm right, you're wrong, etc., etc. And that's what happens a lot in the world as well too. I mean, this is why we can't have open discussions for anything, because like nobody wants to hear anybody else out, or just think that like the opposing side is completely like, wrong, and like there's nothing you can say to me to fix that, which doesn't make any sense, because you're the basis of what you're trying to do is trying to convert somebody else. And even with that being said, I mean, he thought that like the video that I was gonna make was just gonna be on like why cigars are good, and like why I think, like, no, it's not about that. It's more of like a way of like thinking and being, and maybe like trying to like dial that back when you do meet new people, or you're interacting with somebody online, or whatever it may have. Now, like I said, like I'm saying this out of love as well too. Again, the whole point of this channel, right, is to give my lessons learned. It's a video diary, and there's always a lesson in every video that I make, right? And I feel like the way, if you're assuming and you're also trying to push your ideologies on other people, right, like again, you have to do some of that stuff to a certain extent, right? But don't lead with it, and don't make that like your world view or something where you're stuck on just that one point. You know what I'm saying? Because even if you go in the post, right, he doesn't think that like there's nothing he literally said there's nothing I could say to like change his mind on that. Like it's a straight L, right? And again, that's like not the way. If you're trying to talk to somebody and communicate with somebody and trying to make them see your point of view, it's not the way you go about it, because you're gonna turn people off to that, right? So it's like if I was like kind of interested in being like, okay, like why do you think I like cigars, but why do you think? And you're like, oh well, it doesn't matter, it's a straight L. Like I'm not gonna listen to what the fuck you have to say. Like that's me being real, right? That's not how you exchange ideas or like say your point or your opinion, right? But to go like to the very, very root of this, to be honest with you, right? And again, I say this out of love, right? I could lose a subscriber, he could stay, right? Again, I love all my subscribers and I respect all of you guys and like what you guys think and like what you have to say, right? I'm always wanna teach people not what to think but how to not no wait I want to teach people not what to think but how to think, right? Yeah, I think I got it right the first time, right? Is you know, realistically speaking, like I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like unapologetically, whether somebody thinks that I should be doing it or not. I've said that multiple times, right? And I say that because I think that everybody else who watches these videos and likes the videos and gets something out of these videos should live their life just like that as well too. Once again, I'll say this again: when my sons watch this channel, my daughter watches this channel, that is the same advice that I would give to them, right? Because they might grow older and they might do something that I might disagree with. You know what I'm saying? Obviously it's a little different there because I have to guide them and stuff like that, but realistically speaking, I can't pull them back from what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? They can have a career that I might not agree with or a lifestyle I might not agree with, right? But how can I tell them something when I literally told them the number one thing is to do what the fuck you want to do that makes you happy, right? I'll support you as always. I will give you my advice. I will try to guide you in the better direction, or I will try to have you weigh out the pros and cons. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the most I can do, but I would try to not judge and try to make my next steps based off of how I feel, right? And that's something that I'm still working on as a person, right? Again, I have kids, so they're probably gonna do shit in the future that I'm not gonna agree with. But that's just we are surrounded by people who do shit that we don't agree with. You gotta have a friend who's in a relationship that you know it's toxic for them, but like you can't tell them to break up with that person. They kind of gotta live and learn. You know what I'm saying? You gotta step back. It's what they want to do, right? Because if you were in that situation, you probably wouldn't want nobody saying anything to you, right? So, yeah, guys, that's kind of like what I wanted to bring out in this video. This one's like a little bit shorter and not as like, you know, and I'm kind of tired right now. I'm not gonna lie, I came from work and stuff like that, but I was like, I have some time to like record some videos. But this is something that like I just wanted to put out there because I just think it's funny, you know what I'm saying? And again, much love to the subscriber, like for real, right? Because I believe this particular person has been there since day one, right? So, but I just want you to see, like, you know, in my opinion, that's not how you should go forward in life. You know what I'm saying? Because literally, like, everything that you posted about, like, why I might be doing it was literally not the reason. I was actually enjoying myself in bliss while doing that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And you're thinking something else. And, like, it's kind of like goes back to the whole YouTube channel with, like, the first couple of videos. Like, people made assumptions about me based on, like, 1% of my life and, like, what I have going on currently, but has no clue of all the good that I have done, the stuff I have did, and like, you know, again, like some people are like, oh well, you know, you should go back to the person you were. You don't know what that 7 years was like for me. You know what I'm saying? You don't. I'm only saying certain things on here because I'm respecting the person, but I know that her kids will also see this one day too. So what do I look like coming on here being like, oh well, fuck the mom because the mom did this and that? I have to be I have to tread lightly on how I say things, right? Because obviously, like, you know, they will watch this stuff, and when they get older, they're probably gonna share it with their mom, be like, "Yo, look, did you know he did this?" And then she's gonna, you get what I'm saying? So it's kind of like you guys will know stuff, but not know everything behind it, and that goes in mad different areas. To be honest with you, it's a bunch of different areas, you know. So I just thought that, and it goes into a bigger thing as well too. It's kind of like, again, like the people you meet, social media, whether it's good or bad, just know that like it's probably not what you're seeing at face value all the time. It's kind of like the news as well too. You know, they report on things and they're not telling you like really key details, right? They're probably taking some things out that, like, you know, makes a story like less like shareable or anything like that. You just have to really stay in your lane respectfully and just respect what other people do, and give your opinions out, of course, right? But do it in a way where people are willing to listen to you, but also to like know when and where to do that with. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like if you had a son, for example, that smoked, maybe that's something you want to push harder on. Like, hey, don't do that shit because that's bad, right? Somebody on the internet, you know, again, we're building a relationship, right? Maybe that's not the best thing to do, right? And to make matters even funnier, right? And I don't like to say this because it's like I respect all age groups. I do. There's wisdom in all age groups, 100,000%. Like when I was 17, I was smart, right? But this person was also 17. I'm 27. I literally have 10 more years on you. I'm not saying that I won't listen to what you have to say, because that's not the case, right? Like I've gotten like, I have a cousin who's like younger than me. I believe he's 20. He says some shit where I'm like, oh damn, you know what I'm saying? But you know, I wouldn't expect you to like cigars or like enjoy them, or I wouldn't expect that from you. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of like we're in two different areas of life at this point, and it's like I'm not saying you can't like them at 17, but it makes sense to like why you wouldn't give a fuck about it. You get what I'm saying? You know, or like even you're not even old enough to drink whiskey. You know what I'm saying? You're 17, so it's kind of like there's kind of like some I want to say you can't have an opinion on it because everybody can, right? Everybody can, but like you will lose some credibility to your argument on certain things. It's kind of like as if like what's it called? Like if somebody's trying to tell me how to parent, but you don't have a child, you can't tell me how to parent, you know, or your credibility on that advice is slim. It's slimmer, you know. I'm going to go with somebody who actually has had at least one child, you know. So that's kind of like where I'm getting at, you know. So but yeah, guys, so you let me know what you think. Again, I think this is like an interesting topic for today. It's very minor, nothing crazy, you know, but I just think that like, you know, with this is like something that the world is having a problem with when it comes to like, you know, assuming or pushing ideologies onto you, or like, you know, not letting other people speak if your opinion doesn't match theirs. And again, I'm open for all debates. I love it. You know what I'm saying? I love all that. That's what makes all of us unique. That's what makes all of us get sharper, you know. And if it's something that you don't like, you know, unsubscribe. And you know, I really wish you the best of luck in life. That doesn't mean that I don't care, you know what I'm saying? But like realistically, like I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do. You know what I'm saying? But I do appreciate the concern and stuff like that, you know, even though the concern was not correct, you know. So but again, much love. I love it. And yeah, guys, that's why I love YouTube, because you can come in here and just yap your fucking face away. So that is it, guys. If you guys did enjoy this video, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this whole interaction, the topic. You know, again, that's why I'm off of social media. That shit's bad, right? It's really like just reshapes your reality. And do you feel like the world like doesn't have, you can't say your opinions anymore just because like, you know, you will get the tribe will come after you if you say what you think is right, or like, you know, it's not respected, or people that just try to shun you off, you know. And always remember, guys, life is a game.